We're living in the final part of the last days, undoubtedly, the final part of the final part of the last days.
This is the end of the world. This is the end of the world.
Hello and welcome to the Last Days live stream, the one and only show, arguably, that brings welcome levity to the end of the world, lifting the spirits of many of you battling boredom, loneliness or anxiety by infecting as many as possible with comfort and distraction as the apocalypse unfolds. How are we all doing? Plenty of you lurking around in the live chat. A few comments already coming in. In fact, I notice you've been chatting away long before yours truly has disgraced your device of choice. Roy says, you did mention about taking a break from the Last Days live streams. I do understand the reason for needing a break. I suggest you have only the Saturday live stream when most people are available. Well, the thing with that is, Roy, the reason why there are two live streams is because not everyone lives in in the part of the world where you are. So I've tried to kind of do two that cater for different time zones, so that if you're in America, there's obviously this one that you can watch. Or sorry, if you're in the part of the world favourable, there's this one, and there's also the one on Wednesdays for other time zones. So that's the way. That's why I've tried to do it that way. But yes, I am taking a break. There will be two more shows after this show, the Wednesday and the Saturday, and then it's a 2-month break, September and October. And I have to say, it's mixed feelings. I'm going to miss doing these shows because I do really genuinely enjoy doing them, or I wouldn't be doing them. On the other hand, I have sort of missed not doing them, if that makes sense, because when you're not constantly thinking about this kind of schedule of live streams, it frees you up creatively to do other things. And for example, I'm quite far behind in the videos that my patrons have asked me to make, and I don't think that the live stream has necessarily helped in that regard. So I'm looking forward to just going back to quote-unquote normal and thinking only about my regular uploads, and maybe the occasional live stream depending on the topic, and revisiting the show in 2 months' time at the beginning of November. And who knows, maybe having a few ideas for the show in that time so that it just makes it a bit more fresh and interesting. So that's the logic. Trishan Wright says, afternoon Lloyd from Dull, Lancashire. Can't wait for the Battle of Minds. Yes. And the Fanny Pack of Facts. The Fanny Pack of Facts has a habit, Trishan, of sowing discord and introducing chaos to what would otherwise be, actually the whole quiz is normally chaotic. What am I saying? Definitely think you should get points next season for outwitting the teams. Probably, but to be honest, Trishan, it's the satisfaction. The satisfaction alone of outwitting both teams is all I need. Bruder K is watching from Bavaria. Driven through Bavaria, Bruder K, a few times, crisscrossing the continent, as I do occasionally. So yeah, beautiful part of the world, and nice that you could join us. Incidentally, there will be a German edition. I've probably mentioned this already. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. But there will be a German edition of How to Escape from Jehovah's Witnesses soon. So yeah, you've reminded me of that. Nicole Mort Parker says, good morning all from Florida. I'm excited for today's live stream. I also understand and agree with the new live stream schedule you've laid out. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nicole. I would obviously love to do I'd love to have endless energy to just do the live stream continually, but I think I need to I feel as though my creative energy is finite and I need to manage it carefully or I risk burnout. So give myself 2-month windows where all I need to worry about is just my traditional regular uploads. So we have Eric in the chat. Hopefully he's ruling with an iron fist as one of our moderators, making sure there's no riffraff. The live chat is actually normally very well behaved, it must be said. Eric says, we are in the final part of storm preparations. Good grief. Shortly before the last day of the last days of storm preparation. Wow. The end does seem to be imminent, doesn't it? So we have Susan. Welcome, Susan, from beautiful Arkansas. Susan was obviously in last week's last day's quiz. Bit of a disciplinary record in last day's quiz, Susan. But we love you for your feistiness and for sticking it to the man routinely in all sorts of ways, it must be said. We'll see if I can take a couple more comments before we go to the book reading. Neil Dream says, is today the recover from religion Zoom thing that Sherry and Lloyd are doing? Is that today? You raise a good question. I'm doing a Zoom meeting, show, event for recovering from religion. Let me see if I can bring up the details real quick. It is, gosh, that doesn't help. Monday, August the 24th, 8 p.m. Eastern. There you go. Which, incidentally, will be stupid o'clock where I am here in Croatia. So, yeah, not looking forward to that. I'm going to need lots of caffeine. Hopefully I will be vertical for that particular show, but we shall see. Susan says, my hubby is having to pull toilet working on plumbing, so hopefully we'll be finished before Zoom call. That is a lot of information, it must be said, Susan. So thank you for sharing that with us. Nesbo says, good afternoon all. Hunkering down for another episode of my favourite live stream in the last days. I have to ask, Nesbo, is there a better last days themed live stream in the world? I can't think of one. I'm sure there are contenders. But I like to say that we've got the monopoly on this particular niche of live streaming. Donna is saying hi from Pennsylvania. Hello, Donna. I do need a producer. You're right, Eric. Needed one for a while now. Who knows? Maybe one day. Debbie is watching from Scotland. Hello, Debbie. Alison from Gravenhurst. Yes, my favourite of all the Hursts. And lots of comments about the quiz. Lots of comments about Arthur's Knights. Ali Dowd is with us. Hello, Ali. You're all just chatting with each other, aren't you? Which is brilliant. I love it. Steve Thu says, I'm going to miss this chatter when Lloyd takes the 2-month break. Yeah, me too. I just think it's lovely to see people just enjoying each other's company. Joanna says, I'm watching, but I also have to make meatballs for a party this afternoon. It's a situation we all often face, Joanna. So best of luck crafting the finest meatballs for this afternoon's party. But we must get started with our first segment, in which I read from a book. In this case, Exiting the JW Cult, a healing handbook for current and former Jehovah's Witnesses. It's by ex-Jehovah's Witness and professional mental health professional Bonnie Zeman. We're in chapter 8, moving through stages of change. And because chapter 8 is quite a short chapter, I'm anticipating finishing it in this live stream. Typical of the first stage of any major change is a period of disorientation. You may feel disconnected, off balance, unsteady. This is normal. To adjust, you need to allow time and you need to seek information that will help you understand your past experience and recalibrate yourself to your new reality. That is what you are doing right now. Support yourself through this period of disorientation. Take good care of yourself during this stage. It can be helpful to write down on small cards why you made this change and how you know you will benefit from the change. Keep those cards where they are easily accessed: wallet, purse, pocket, desk drawer, etc., and refer to them often. Sometimes during this phase of disorientation, you may have trouble recalling why you even made the choice you did. Don't worry, you will not remain in the stage of disorientation forever. As the second stage of change emerges and the disorientation lessens, so do some personal reactions. You may experience feelings of fear, anger, sadness, and resentment. It is important to support yourself through any strong emotions that arise. Make sure you are well nourished, well hydrated, getting enough sleep, even extra sleep for a while, and getting adequate exercise. Bilateral movements of the body, such as walking or jogging, actually support the psychological reprocessing of trauma in your brain, similar to what EMDR therapy does. If you can afford the luxury of going for therapy and can find a therapist trained in EMDR, it can be a great source of support during the stage of personal reactions. Further on in this book are many specific suggestions to help you manage emotional reactions. Typical of the third stage of change is a level of resolution, acceptance, and adaptation to the new reality. You begin to recognize and experience the benefits of the change you have made. You will feel more able to test and explore the wide range of possibilities now open to you. Be prepared for the pattern of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You are asking your mind and body to synchronize in their adaptations to the change you have made, and all of your parts cannot always be in perfect sync. Know that the path to the goal is not always perfectly straight, and try to just relax into the process. You're almost there. Typically, in the 4th stage of the change process, you feel able to embrace the new reality, so much so that the new reality begins to feel like second nature to you. You have incorporated the changes and their results into your everyday life. You begin to enjoy the positive effects of the big decision you made, and perhaps find yourself celebrating the changes made. Woohoo! You're free! It is vital to remember that life continually moves and changes, and that change is a process. If you find yourself in a stage of change that is difficult, allow it, knowing that usually your psyche will judge when one stage is complete and easily move, when it judges the timing to be right, onto the next stage. You are no longer trapped in a stagnant, stifling situation where you have no hope for any personal change or individual growth. What a gift to be able to move comfortably with the wonderful process of change. Once having successfully negotiated the stages of change, you will have grown, matured, and expanded your sense of self and your sense of well-being. And then there's a quote from C.S. Lewis. It may be hard for an egg to turn into a bird. It would be a jolly sight harder for it to learn to fly while remaining an egg. We are like eggs at present, and you cannot go on indefinitely being just an ordinary, decent egg. We must be hatched or go bad. I like that analogy, that's good. Once hatched out of the Jehovah's Witness sect, we are like new little fledglings who have just emerged out of the confinement of a brittle, dark enclosure. It takes time to adapt to the change, get our bearings, find our legs, and run freely across the land of life. How wonderful to step out of the constraints of our dark cell and explore the light-filled, crazy, complex, wondrous world around us. And then a quote to conclude the chapter from Dennis Waitley. Change the changeable, accept the unchangeable, and remove yourself from the unacceptable. Wise words there from Dennis Waitley and from Bonnie Zeman in her book, Exiting the JW Cult, a healing handbook for current and former Jehovah's Witnesses, available, I'm sure, on Amazon. In our next show, I will make a start on Chapter 9, Value of Debriefing, and how to debrief yourself. But we must bring in the first of our panelists. We have Sasha from a land down under, and we have Renato from Brazil. How are we doing?
Hey guys? Good. How are you all?
Very good.
Not
It's
bad at
very
all.
cold here, which is
Cold?
not normal. Not normal. Exactly. If there are any Brazilians watching this, they're going to know what I'm talking about. If they don't live in the South, they're going to know. It's never cold here. Like, never. It's like 12 days a year it's cold, so it always takes you by surprise.
Possibly
Like-
a sign of the last days. Strange.
No, it's just a sign. It's just a sign that the country is super hot all the time. That's-
But what
And how
do
are
you
you-
define cold as?
well, I define it as literally every part of my body is frozen. That's it.
He's probably talking 25 degrees Celsius. Yeah, okay.
Please don't talk in Celsius.
No, actually, it's 12 Celsius this morning.
Oh, okay.
And how are
Let me
you,
look it
Kimmy?
up. I have to go do some conversions now between Celsius and Fahrenheit.
It's like 50 Fahrenheit here, Kimmy, right now.
Kimmy, how are you? I'm determined
I'm well.
to know how you are.
I'm well. I'm okay. I'm here. Tired, but I'm here.
Excellent. Are there any furry creatures in your periphery?
Not yet. I'll grab one in a minute.
Please do. If you could grab a pussy cat at some point and dangle it.
Did you not see me drinking
I
coffee?
said,
Lloyd?
I
Almost
said
missed that
something
shot, but-
perfectly normal. I don't know why it elicited that kind of reaction.
The pause was not normal.
Yeah, that was a normal pause. How many
The
points
pause.
did you get deducted?
It was the pause that did it.
The pause. Oh god.
It was perfect, Lloyd. Perfect.
Oh dear, oh dear. We've gone from innuendo to very bad dad jokes.
Very bad. Like
That was on purpose.
granddad jokes.
Very
Some may say.
If I could pick this camera up and walk it around, you guys talking about cats and the damage, I walked down the stairs to join the stream, and the cats, the two new kittens, have gone into the bathroom, grabbed the toilet roll, and have run right around the house, around the kitchen with it, knocked over all the stuffed toys, and knocked over half of a bench, a jug on a bench. Yeah, brats. I'd love to be able to show you.
So they're rebelling against your authority, basically.
They are. They don't respect my
You
authority.
love every minute of it, Sasha.
Well, they're
Yeah.
cats. So what?
We had a similar problem with Olivia, because our problem is with Olivia is that cats have a habit of not respecting human sleep patterns, and that's not so much of a problem with me and Deanna. It's more of a problem with the girls who do need to sleep. So to stop them from waking up the girls, we were initially putting Olivia in the bathroom, shutting her in the bathroom with her litter tray. And it went okay for maybe a week or two, but then she realized that she really didn't like being in the bathroom, and she made it clear immediately that she stopped liking it. We went into the bathroom the next day, and there was just mess everywhere. It's almost like she thought, how can I make this room as messy as possible? And she just executed it perfectly. So we've had to come up with other arrangements. Yeah.
Do all of your cats have, and maybe others who are watching can comment as well? When we got Derby originally, the breeder said to us, particularly with purebreds or whatever, but they said that they have what we like to affectionately call 9 o'clocksies. That at 9 o'clock in the evening seems to be when cats go psycho and just go running around and It's their energy burst. Have you guys had the same? Like, are your cats? Do they
Yeah,
have a particular
they get-
time of an evening?
Mine are getting up there in age, but yeah, they get zoomies in the evening. Yeah, I think people
Love it.
call them zoomies, right?
Zoomies, I love it.
Cats sleep like, I don't know, 18 hours a day to conserve energy. So I imagine by the end of the day, if all they've done is sleep, they have to get that energy out so that they can sleep
Yeah.
again the next day.
That's right.
I read a fact today on cats. They domesticated indoor house cat is almost 96% genetically the same as a tiger.
Wow.
Ooh, 96.
Yeah,
Wow.
96%. So you almost have a tiger living with you, Lloyd.
That stuff amazes me though, because all of that stuff about percentage of similarity between different species, like it's something like ridiculous, like 99%, isn't it, between humans and chimpanzees, or something like that. But there's even commonality between humans and oak trees.
Yeah.
It's something like 50% or something. It's absolutely
Some humans also.
Right, because we're all made up of 4 amino acids, right?
Because
Combination
exactly.
of those 4 amino acids.
The tree of life and everything. All of that stuff I find absolutely amazing.
But cats are amazing because they domesticated themselves, basically, they say, right? So people started
They
putting grains
exploited
in
a
their
good
homes.
opportunity.
They did, right? People started saying, hey, I'm going to put some fish, dried fish and rice. And then cats said, hey, there's rodents that are attracting to that stuff. And so I'll go near people because there's rodents. And then eventually they got to know each other. And then people started bringing the cats inside. And then, basically cats domesticated themselves. But when they look at a cat today and a cat from 50,000 years ago, almost identical DNA. They really have not changed much, the domestic cat.
I saw something on Twitter the other day about, I think, was it a university somewhere in the UK? They virtually unpacked some mummified animal remains. There was a bird, there was a snake, and there was a cat. So it's still mummified, but they put it through one of these imaging scanners so that they could see all of the details of the skeleton and everything. And it would be something like 2,000 years old minimum. Amazing what they can do with technology these days, isn't it?
So
Yeah,
they
I
would
think
have
they
been
do
ones that. Sorry, Kimmy.
No, I was saying they do that with people, too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So while we wait for Mr. O'Donnell, who's being fashionably late.
I don't know if he's joining us, Lloyd.
Oh, really?
He sent a message on WhatsApp. He was asking someone else if they were available to join Javier, which he wasn't. I don't think Mark's feeling.
Oh, okay.
I think he's got a lot on his mind and just not feeling 100%.
I know what you mean. Are you able to do the quiz?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do the quiz.
Excellent. That would be interesting.
Let's see if I win. I like your thoughts, right? If I win this week, is it a scientific experiment proving that
it is interesting, isn't it, to see what the outcome is with Sans.
And you never know. He may change his mind.
You do. You never know. So it's Arthur then who's being fashionably late. So we must wait for him. Goodness knows. You see, Arthur is a strange creature. He's difficult to kind of nail down.
Well, I know he's coming because he's planned the song. He shared some lyrics and some ideas. So.
Oh right, okay.
His dog probably had to urinate. Hello, we know it when he's not there.
He could be doing, frankly, anything right at this moment, knowing that we'll just be here waiting for him.
His cat could have gotten outside and he had to go out there and grab the pussy and bring it back in. So.
We've said that again. So, what we should probably do at this point to rescue the show from the debauchery that it's lurching into is have a little bit of culture and sophistication in the form of Sasha's Poetry Corner.
Well, there's a slight tie-in to some of the things we were talking about, but stick with me through this. This takes a turn. Okay. This time of world upheaval has certainly revealed people's true character and what they may have concealed. For example, when confronted about a multitude of deaths, A narcissistic leader stated, "Oh, it is what it is." We all heard this political figure utter that dismissive line when interviewed by a media journalist in a manner oh so fine. The statement showed such a lack of empathy and true feeling about the state of the world and the pandemic that's left us all reeling. What will happen to him and his office is yet to be seen, but the wave of opinion indicates his time left is lean. But to draw a comparison to our former religion's viewpoint, uttered by one of their infamous leaders who claims heaven did anoint him and his 7 buddies to their lofty leadership position, where they dictate life directions and expect all to listen. He stated that the reality of millions who are now affected by the deadly virus is something to which he isn't dejected. He callously stated on camera, "It doesn't bother me. We've been waiting for this for ages, yes, eagerly to see." Why would he and his GB pals even want to show concern? After all, they pray to bring destruction, yes, they even yearn to bring a genocide to the planet, destroying numbers countless, men and women and children, yes, everyone around us. Such religious, bigoted beliefs need to be clearly exposed by ones like us who see their toxicity and are openly opposed. We work to help the multitude who wake up and choose to leave, to reclaim their lives from the cult in which they no longer believe. And as we all rid ourselves from the grips of dangerous thoughts, we feel refreshment in our lives, for true knowledge has brought us the realization that we get to live free from cultish lies and forge our own authentic lives and happiness realize.
Very nice. Up to the minute political poetry there. From
I had to tie it in, and you know, I see this similarity when Toni Morris gets up there and just has this dismissive attitude about people's lives and everything that we discuss. And when I heard that uttered by another political figure in that same way, I just thought it brought back all of that same feeling of disgust at the attitude that Toni Morris displays. So yeah.
Well, we do have some reaction to Sasha's Poetry Corner. Steve Thu says, once again, Sasha, you brought it home again.
Thank you, Steve. Steve, I've
well
got to
done,
say,
sir.
Steve is one of my most supportive mates. I'm really
One of
appreciative.
your fans.
Yeah, look, we message so often, and I'm so appreciative, Steve, for your support and your suggestions and things on the poem. So thanks, mate.
Donna Fletcher says, brilliant, Sasha. Absolutely brilliant. She doesn't mince words, does Donna? That's one thing I've noticed whenever she comments. She just says it like it is. Mad Jock 2112 says, good work, Sasha. A little bit more subdued, but nevertheless positive.
Thank you.
Susan Brewer says, great, Sasha. Great. As in Alexander the.
Oh,
Barnabas Collins says, nice, good job. Lancer Choate says, bravo, as always. So Lancer there indicating that the standards are normally high. And Lisa Burberry says, thanks, Sasha. Eric Larson indicating an element of aggression in your poetry. Sasha's brilliant poetry strikes again. Rianne, also appreciative.
well, thank you all.
Lancer wants to know whether there's any chance of a limerick.
I'll have to. I didn't write one, so I'll have to think of one.
Kimmy, if anyone is watching this video for YouTube moderation purposes, could you just let us know what this video is about?
This video is about cats and only cats. This is the rare appearance from Dora. I think she's only been on one other show. We have her sister, the other black and white female, that's Boots.
She's beautiful.
She's whining because she doesn't want to be held. She says she didn't sign any waiver to be on the internet today, so she's mad.
She's got the most beautiful little white markings, like a little bow tie on her nose.
Yeah, we took her mom in, rescued her when she had kittens in the garage like overnight, and her mom was black, and then there was 2 black and white females, and then 2 blue and white males, and then a solid, really long-haired cat. But the 2 girls, they were like twins, and anyways, we got stuck with 3 of the kittens, and we lost one a few years ago. But she's like, I don't know, 12 now or something. So pretty healthy
She's
otherwise.
beautiful.
Hey, girl,
she's
this is
beautiful.
Dora.
Rihanna sent through a super chat, some money for the cat food. I'm going to have to figure out a way of transferring €10 to you. Gosh. Thank you very much, Rihanna. That's very kind. And the cat seems to be...
Yeah, I've dropped the cat so that she no longer whines.
Can
and
no
yells.
longer be grabbed
Otherwise, I have
quite
to
so freely.
I have to mute. So Mark and I, we were supposed to start softball yesterday after a year of not being able to play because the spring, got canceled. And so we get up to the softball field. Everyone's prepared. We've got all of our safety regulations in place. And we play at 8 p.m. and the sun sets about 8 p.m. And there was lights on the fields, but the park forgot to actually turn the lights on for us.
Oh.
So after them spending a good amount of time trying to figure out if they could turn the lights on themselves, we had to leave without playing.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah, so we'll try again next week, but we were ready.
So
I'm
are
not
things
sure
back
what
to-
socially distanced softball would look like.
Well, we have our masks on until we actually go up to bat. When we're no spectators, we're not sitting next to each other on the bench. You use your own bat, sanitize the balls in between innings.
Yeah.
Well, I can just see you've got a little pump action of sanitizer, and just before the ball gets, you go to catch it, you've got to quickly disinfect it before you catch it and before you throw it.
I wear batting gloves and stuff, but nah. So it's you're spread out anyway. The only time there could be some sort of contact would be if you run into a base, but there's no reason why you can't put up a buff over your face if you're playing a base, and let the runner not have the mask on.
So how are things there in your area, Kimmy? If things are starting to open up again, restrictions have been lifted in social
we're
distancing?
still in phase 2. They had closed down some of the restaurants again. They've opened those back up. So everyone in Maryland's pretty cooperative about wearing masks when they go out, staying away from people. Even my job is starting to say, hey, we need to bring people back and figure out how to do it safely. And the Coast Guard's going to provide safety training and health training for people if they're concerned. So our hospitalizations are down, even though our positivity rate it's Johns Hopkins says it's one thing. Our governor says it's another thing. I mean, it's not gone. It's still very much a real thing, but the hospital.
When you say positivity, you don't just mean whether people are in a good mood or not.
No.
Yeah.
But the problem there, you've just got to stop testing and then you won't have so many cases. Come on.
That is
Who knew?
We did increase testing because our here's the best part, and I really do respect Governor Hogan. He really did pull through for us. But we got 500,000 tests from South Korea because his wife, is South Korean. But they did not increase the amount of testing centers or the amount of facilities that can process those tests. So there's still a delay. So like a coworker of mine had to get tested, was promised 3-day turnaround. It took 8 days for him to get his results, right? So he's quarantining the whole time, nervous, So I know they're doing the best they can, but that's the only kind of drawback is we don't have the same amount of, I don't know how long it takes for you guys if you had to get a test, how long it takes in your country to get a.
It's pretty
result.
quick here. It's within 24, 48 hours here, from what I understand. The infrastructure has been set up to work pretty well here. Yeah. How's Brazil going, Renato?
No.
It's depressing. Well, I'm gonna say I live in a small town, so here things work a little bit smoother. There's like 700 cases in the whole city, which isn't a lot, and our mayor said that things are starting to look up, but the country as a whole is just a mess. It's just like the United States, basically, but with like half the cases. But the way it's being like treated by the president and how hard is it to get a test, and it's just a mess.
So testing's not available for everyone.
No, not at all.
That's what finally happened here in Maryland. In order for us to open, they made it where testing is free, and you don't need a prescription anymore. So hopefully your country can get to that point, because that did make a difference.
Yeah, but like the problem is our president, he called it the little flu from the beginning.
Oh, did he? That's terrible.
Yeah, and then he tested positive for it. And
that's right. Yeah.
2 days later, he traveled to another state, took his mask off in the middle of 1,000 people who went to the airport to greet him, and he was surfing in the crowd and no mask on. So he doesn't care about it at all.
No, he
And
doesn't believe it's real.
That reflects on the people, unfortunately. So
Sorry to hear that. No.
yeah, it's sad.
Renato, we seem to be losing your signal, unless it's just me.
It's just you.
Yeah.
It's just
Just
me.
you.
Okay, sorry. Carry on.
We got you. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a dark corner today, but I turned on a third light.
We've talked a bit about the virus, and we've said it in all of the live streams and whenever we can. But again, we want to give a massive shout out of appreciation to those who work on the front line, those who work obviously in any form of medical care, or those who work in grocery stores or emergency services, because there's still so many people out there doing it absolutely tough. And as humans, we tend to get a little bit bored. The news cycle moves on and people feel like, oh, I'm over this situation. But it's not over. And we need to give respect and appreciation to people who are still very much in the midst of this, or those who have been affected economically. Like we really understand that some people are doing it very tough.
Yeah, we have places closing up. I mean, that's the other sad part. That's the reality, right? I think 50% of our restaurants in Baltimore City have closed their doors because we had a lot of very unique one-off, places, mom and pop places, unique, standalone places that just did not survive.
Susan Brewer says we had the highest deaths in a 24-hour period today, before yesterday, with over 800 new positives. Gene Walker says Sasha is right. In Germany, they're testing like mad, and wouldn't you know it, the number of cases goes up. You need the testing. You need to know how bad the situation is. Daniel Druce says I can get one within 1 or 2 days too in Central Europe. I don't know what the turnaround is for testing here in Croatia. I would assume it's something like that.
Let's hope you don't have to find out, Lloyd.
I really hope not. Yeah, and
one advantage to working from home.
Damien Layton says the UK hand the test out like sweets to increase testing stats. Well, that's certainly better than not doing testing. So yeah, just an update on the quiz. I have heard from Mr. Webber.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He is being fashionably late, but I've basically delivered an ultimatum. I've said if you're not here within the hour mark, the 1 hour from when we started, we'll have to proceed with Team D'Souza standing in for Arthur's Knights. So I think that's how we'll play it. So,
but Arthur, we need you to be present because there's a song you promised for everybody. Come on, you've got fans.
Well, he'll show up at the very end, and that'll be the punishment.
He'll definitely sing.
Oh, he'll sing from wherever he's at.
Yeah.
Arthur has 20 minutes to come before we start the quiz with Team D'Souza. And just what's Team D'Souza's record like, Renato?
They have 0 wins from 2 appearances.
0 wins.
Yeah.
From 2 appearances.
Yeah.
So not great. Maybe that would be Team O'Donnell's time to shine then.
I don't know. I can't really remember all those songs.
Look,
and remember, I was singing the songs in that Gray songbook. You don't use that one because Lloyd doesn't know those songs, so that's why we don't use that songbook. But
I probably will need to start using the newer songbook for the next season.
Yeah,
because I'm already at the point where I'm kind of exhausting some of the ones that I can remember, and I do remember 1 or 2 from the new songbook. So
I'm just gonna say this: if Team O'Donnell loses to Team D'Souza, that's really bad.
Yeah. It doesn't.
It's a good thing that my self-esteem is not tied up in the results of this actual.
No.
I am a straight A student, 4.0 GPA. I graduated college with like 3.95 GPA. This quiz stats. I used to get more than my assigned hours a year as a pioneer. I mean, I was, a show-off. Not so much in this quiz.
It could actually be argued that winning in a quiz about Jehovah's Witness history and biblical knowledge is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Susan says, so now Arthur's a prima donna. Not so much now.
Yeah, I was going to say, hasn't he
always has been. Just he just has this smiling facade.
Maybe that's a
so
new
that you
new merch idea, Lloyd. A picture of like Arthur's face, prima donna.
exactly. And
Well, one of our viewers actually made up a T-shirt for Arthur with a big picture of Arthur, Team Arthur, and so yeah, maybe this fame's gone to his head a little bit.
Yeah.
what we
I'm
do,
waiting for the Charlie merch. Remember the cat merch.
Yes.
yeah,
I'm gonna make
I'm
my own
behind. I'm behind with my merch. I need. There's so many potential merch offerings from
I
the
was
last
gonna-
day's live stream.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, Lloyd, I want to get my hands on the Cult Wars shirt, but it's gone from the.
Is
from
it
the
really?
store.
Someone
Yeah.
else asked me
Is
about
it
that.
gone?
I'm
It's my
wondering
fa-
whether it
my
might
favorite
be.
one.
And
Someone else asked me about that, and I arranged for it to be back up. So if it's gone down again, I'll have to assume it's something to do with Disney or something. Although
they don't
as far
notify
as-
you if
they don't notify you. No, that you just I just start getting emails saying, "Oh,
actually, according to the comments, it's back. So
it's back."
Okay.
Good.
Oh, good.
Speaking of merch, I'm sure we're happy to give a little plug to a friend of the show and an excellent person, Cliff. He's got his merch out,
Yeah.
XJW Fifth. He's got his fantastic merch out for his album. So head across to his stuff and have a look and support him.
Indeed. Now, since we do have a bit of time to kill before Lord and Emperor and Master Arthur Weber
This is
dignifies
really going to
us,
go to his head that we are all waiting for him. you know?
dignifies us with his presence.
possibly.
What we've decided to do on the hoof is have a little bit of comfort because Sasha, and I'm not dropping him in it, he said he has actually prepared something. Sasha is going to give us either comfort or fear depending on what he feels like doing. Sherry's Comfort Corner.
Love that intro. Well, yeah, Sherry is unable to join the stream tonight because she's fast asleep, poor girl, and hasn't been too well. But I did put together a little bit of a segment based on some research on how we can help gain a new perspective. Sometimes when we face difficult patches in life, it's hard to sort of see our way clear out of it, and particularly that applies to those of us who are escaping the religion that we all once had in common. So I found some excellent resources here on tips on how we can gain a new perspective. It started off by saying, look, we've all guaranteed that we've run up against problems or situations in life that seem insurmountable. Whatever the circumstance, there are times where we just feel like giving up, or we say we're unable to change things. So when problems seem too big, there's an interesting little illustration that's been given. It said, you will always have moments where we want to throw our hands up and walk away, but the odds are we're not the first person to tackle that particular problem. There is a solution waiting to be found. We just haven't found it yet. What we need is a change, and it's a change of perspective. For example, if we ever stood outside a skyscraper and looked up, it's almost impossible to conceive how something so massive was ever built. Our problem can look a lot like that. It can look as daunting as a huge skyscraper. But if we go up the elevator to the top floor and then look down from that skyscraper, everything seems so small. All we did was change our position and thereby change our perspective. So there's a few tips on how we can change our situation. When we change our perspective, in that skyscraper illustration, we basically just took the elevator to the top floor. We didn't accomplish it under our own power. So we can rely upon some resources and suggestions to, in fact, or to empower us to change our perspective. One of the main things it said is to ask for help. And all of us here who have come out of the religion are available to help others. So when we need to change our perspective or try and reclaim our life, we can reach out to people within the XJW movement and ask for the support. There's so many resources available. We don't have to do it alone. There's nothing wrong with asking for others to assist us to reclaim our lives. If we feel a bit overwhelmed by things, and sometimes that's the case when it comes to the XJW situation, it's okay to walk away. We don't have to be involved all the time with the XJW movement. If we need breathing space, it's okay to walk away from that. One of the other tips is overhaul our routine to change things up, see if that sparks our imagination or our critical thinking skills. Routine is good, it helps us to get things done efficiently, but we may have let bad habits or unnecessary actions creep into our routine. So it's okay to overhaul our routine. And then a couple others, broaden our horizons. We can make an informed decision by just looking at things from another perspective, by researching, break out of our two-dimensional view, and also ask someone else to take the lead. Swallow our pride and admit that we might not be the best at looking at our situation. And that goes hand in hand with asking others for input, suggestions, and guidance. So, yeah, if we find ourselves in a situation where we need to change our perspective, there are plenty of methods and plenty of tools and resources available to assist us along the way. And one of those is, of course, as we said, email support@JWsurvey. We can help put you in touch with people, help you to gain a network of people outside that can help you reclaim your life. So just a couple of thoughts.
Thank you very much, Sasha, and lots of reaction coming through on the comments. Damien Layton says, Sasha, wise words, my friend, wise words. And we also have, actually, this is a comment from Eric. Lloyd's Discord server is one way to reach out for help. Plenty of people there to talk to and vent to if you need to vent. I should just mention that the Discord server is for patrons, but you can be a patron for just $1 a month. However, if that's prohibitive, obviously there's the XJW subreddit as well. I think that's a wonderful resource.
And you can be anonymous there. So.
You can be anonymous. You can go on there, and if you make a post that says, look, I need help, this is my situation, you're guaranteed to get reaction, and you're guaranteed to get people who've basically walked your path and know exactly what advice to give. Yep. So all sorts of resources.
Yeah, and on that note too, if we want to go outside of the XJW bubble, we've often spoken about recovering from religion, another excellent resource that's available, and it doesn't mean completely atheist in leaning, but it can just be a very good resource. They also have a link to the Secular Therapy Project, where there are trained therapists that can help assist us. And yeah, Lloyd, you of course have an event coming up with recovering from religion.
Indeed, which I'm looking forward to. Many thanks to Lisa for your super sticker. That's very helpful indeed. Now, I'm delighted to welcome to the last day's live stream, fashionably late.
Oh my goodness!
Lord
Not
and Emperor,
even inside.
Supreme Leader of all, he surveys, Arthur Weber.
Hello, everyone. Actually, the problem is I was late for today's live stream because I've been preaching from the Bible.
Can you mute him?
And I've been in field service this afternoon, and it was so awesome. I've had some lovely experiences.
I might leave.
Very heartwarming.
Yeah, certainly backing up what I said earlier about being a strange creature. So Arthur,
probably sorry, Lloyd. Probably what most people would be wondering: why do I have an English New World Translation in Romania? Well, because we have in Oradea an English language territory. So obviously, it's working fine. And
thanks for that clarification on a question almost no one was asking. So are we able to get the quiz started now, or do you need a couple of minutes? I'm tempted to just start it now, because goodness knows you're not struggling for winning at the moment. So I actually favour you having some kind of handicap. Actually, if you started now, it's a demonstration that I don't cheat. Exactly,
because I don't have
you don't have your monitors around you.
Exactly. See,
Brilliant.
so we can prove the audience
You
that
can tell
Arthur
it,
is
but you can
indeed
tell when
not
Arthur's
cheating.
reading something because his eyes do like.
Yeah.
Maybe in that case, Arthur, you could introduce the segment.
All right.
Go ahead, Arthur.
Do it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the last day's quiz. Intro, baby.
Stay alive to 75.
Yes, welcome to the poorly introduced Last Day's Quiz, the ultimate battle of minds. As two teams of today's panelists face off against each other to prove that Arthur always wins. I mean, to prove their knowledge of this show and Jehovah's Witness Doomsday Dogma. So, as already discussed, we're going to have two teams today. Arthur's Knights, led by Arthur, who's currently on his bike, featuring assistance from Mr. D'Souza, against Team O'Donnell, which is today represented just by Kimmy. Kimmy, now that you are sans your better half, or other half, what do you think your chances are of making the impossible happen?
You know, I don't usually overthink. I'm going to go more with my gut. So I think I've got a 65% chance of coming ahead.
Renato, you're here to obviously moderate and also keep score. What do you think's more likely, a Team O'Donnell victory or Armageddon?
Wow, Lloyd, that hurt, man. That really hurt.
And I thought I had pressed.
And I mean, I got up. I was tired. I said, let me go support my friend.
Wow.
Listen for me to storm off in a second.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Maybe you could instead give us a rundown of where we're up to so far with the last day's quiz.
Yes, I'm going to make it quick today because it's a busy quiz. So after 10 editions, Arthur's Knights have 8 wins, including the last 5 in a row. In second place, as they always are, is Team O'Donnell with 2 wins. And Team D'Souza has 0 wins, but they're not going to play today, so they're still on no wins. And
But they both
Lloyd,
made 2 appearances, right?
yeah, they only have 2 appearances.
Okay.
Team O'Donnell has
I've had
8
8
appearances and only 2
right.
wins. So Team O'Donnell is bad at this. I was going to say, Lloyd, that since Sasha is back for today's quiz, you have competition for the guy who needs help because you're a Watchtower writer and Sasha knows all the songs. So we're going to see who is crazier today. That's my rundown.
He doesn't mince words, Renato. That's why we like him.
If Arthur's so far ahead, I should jump ship and offer to go on Kimmy's team today.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, listen, Sasha.
a
You
betrayal.
have the freedom to make that decision.
come to the dark side, Sasha.
I'm gonna before we start the quiz. You have that. You have
You
that
know what?
freedom.
Arthur, I love you, but you're too far ahead. So, Kimmy, I
do
will
it,
help you.
Sasha.
Yeah.
Drama on today's last day's quiz.
Yes.
As one of Arthur's
my
Knights
God.
defects to join Team O'Donnell, Arthur nearly falls off his bike.
Darth, Sasha.
He seems to be taking it reasonably well.
He is. He's just trying not to get hit by a vehicle because he doesn't wear a helmet.
So, Renato, could you please prepare the coin? And Arthur, do you take head or tails?
I take heads this time.
Okay.
Which you should protect with a helmet, Arthur.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is heads.
Okay. Arthur's
Alright.
Knights, you're going first. We begin the last day's quiz, as always, with the round
As he
they.
freezes.
As he's gone from the quiz.
We're nothing but
Great.
professional on this show.
And I can't even get
You're gonna have
Sasha
give
to
people
stand
a
in because
refund.
he's defected.
You're gonna give people a refund. He should connect
Gosh.
right back, right? If not, then
Did he fall from his bike? I'm not
if
worried.
not, you'll have to start with me, our team, Lloyd, and
Yeah,
have to do it in
unfortunately, Arthur's knights can't appear because Arthur is dead. Oh no, here he is.
does that count as a win for
So
me?
Resurrection.
I got
Wow.
no, I got disconnected because I clicked somewhere instead of. I wanted to mute my mic because of the wind. You can hear a lot of background noise.
You're having
Well,
wind
you forwarded
problems,
that.
Arthur.
Yeah, I'm
Get that
breaking
checked
wind
out,
right
that
now
doctor.
Yeah.
on
Okay.
my bike. So yeah. So
So-
now I'm back and
Okay.
let's do
breathless.
first round.
Breathless as you are, I will take you through the first round. They wouldn't write
Yes.
that.
They wouldn't try
Um,
that.
We are now going to delve into a publication from yesteryear. Hang on, let me just put it on full screen. So, there are two publications that I'm dipping into my collection for questions, and the first publication is this one. His Vengeance. This is a Rutherford booklet from the year 1934. So I'm going to read 3 quotes. One of them I've made up. You need to tell me which one. Quote number 1. Hang on, let me take it off full screen. Satan would destroy Jehovah's Witnesses instantly except for the protection that Jehovah throws around his witnesses. Recently, when the enemies of Jehovah's Witnesses have maltreated them, some of these opposers have immediately died. Whether God killed them or not, you may judge. That's quote number 1. Quote number 2. Men of science, so-called, have filled the earth with twisted reasonings as to the origins of mankind. By putting animals on a pedestal as somehow equal to humans, they make monkeys of themselves and all who follow them. They place theories before facts and wicked self-centeredness before comfort and hope. That's quote number 2. Quote number 3. The scriptures then further show that for a long period of time after the Battle of Armageddon is over, companies of survivors will be sent through the land to clean it up and to destroy these bleached bones. This done, the work of beautifying the earth and making it a fit place in which to live will progress. Which of those quotes have I written? Is it quote 1, 2, or 3?
I believe you have written quote number 1.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, it's my final answer, Lloyd.
Arthur Weber of Arthur's Knights at an undisclosed location somewhere in Romania. I'm here to tell you that your answer is incorrect. It was quote number 2.
Got him. Got him.
Wow.
That's a crazy quote.
Yeah.
It's
I was
Rutherford,
sure.
Jimmy.
I was sure that,
Definitely,
that
right,
I was
right.
sure that 3 was genuine.
Yeah, 3 was. I knew that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bleached bones. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
How is quote number 1 real? Like, how can it be possible?
Yeah, those are some crazy quotes. Yeah.
Rutherford was known to write under the influence.
Yeah. I think he
Right,
had 1 or 2 brandies when he wrote that.
And
Before
probably
Holy Spirit.
that's how Tony Morris
Indeed.
got his keenness for certain.
It doesn't bother me. Yeah.
But we move across to Team O'Donnell.
So Lloyd, before we continue, Sasha,
Sure.
this is the first quiz for Sasha since the new rules. So it's important to remind him that teams can now be docked
yes.
points for breaking
Yes,
certain
that's
rules.
true. So,
Ooh.
Sasha, we now have disciplinary deductions. So it's
Okay.
half a
Penalty
point.
box.
It's half a point for insubordination, or as you might otherwise put it, being Mark. It's 1 point for.
He lost some points last week, so that's fair.
So yeah, the problem, Lloyd, may I get a certain line across? So it's instead of it being John Malkovich, it's being John Redwood. That's the new title of the movie.
It's 2 points for reasonable suspicion of cheating. I can't forget. I forget what the
other
1
one
point
was
is for.
influence.
1 point is for
Oh yeah,
playing
trying to
Mike.
influence the other team.
Like Arthur likes to do.
Yeah. So being Arthur, basically.
Being Arthur.
Yeah.
All right.
So the first action is for being Mark. The other two is for being Arthur. Just
Basically, yeah.
Notice no
So-
penalty for being Kimmy.
So we move on to Team O'Donnell. Which of the following 3 quotes have I made up? And I again dip into my extensive collection of Watchtower materials. This time we go to the 1960s when this was printed: "Peace Among Men of Goodwill" or "Armageddon," which this was printed
That's
in
a trippy cover.
this was printed in 1964. I love the fact that they've put Armageddon in intimidating, bold characters.
3D, they're like, it's coming at you. Like, just
it
like
really
Armageddon,
is.
Because Armageddon's going to come when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Literally, the letters of the word are coming at you. So surely the actual thing is also coming at you.
I think you need a seizure warning on that.
So there are 2 of the following quotes that I'm going to read are from this booklet. 1 has been made up. You need to tell me which one I've made up. Quote number 1. "To avoid being influenced by the froggish expressions inspired by demons that issue from the mouths of the dragon, the wild beast, and the false prophet, we need the heavenly wisdom that is found in the Bible, which is inspired by God's Holy Spirit." That's quote number 1. Quote number 2. "What a glorious, peaceful home this paradise earth will be for men of goodwill everlastingly. Do you readers want it? It can become yours if you now take steps to escape from destruction with divinely disapproved men at Armageddon." That's quote number 2. And quote number 3. "Some may mock at the idea of the animal kingdom being restored to its Edenic state, but these would be forgetting that with God all things are possible. Already we see evidence that predatory beasts such as lions will occasionally partake of Earth's vegetation to supplement their diets. God's word promises that one day even such fearsome animals will be content to feast on the vegetation the cleansed Earth will bounteously yield." So one of those quotes is fake. You need to tell me, is it quote number 1, quote number 2, or quote number 3?
Now, Sasha, 2 seems so, like, Watchtowery, like, overly, you know, I don't know. Because I know they talked about the frogs coming out of the mouth and all that stuff, and they've been saying that, like, in the Babylon, whatever that book is from the 60s, which would make sense.
Yeah.
It's also in that pamphlet from the 60s.
Yeah, agreed. So, and the third one,
About the animals,
lions
lions.
eating vegetation. Yeah, I've heard that said by Watchtower Publications before.
I mean, I know number 2 is so mild, but it seems so, I don't know. My gut says 2, but I may be wrong. So it's a guess.
That 2 is the fake one?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same. But you're the team captain.
We're
so
going with number 2, Lloyd.
Is that your final answer?
It is our final answer. Numero 2.
It's so much easier dealing with you, Kimmy, than your husband, who
I didn't ask you to reread this.
insubordinates wantonly. And your answer is wrong because it was actually
Wow!
Which one was it? Was it number 1?
it was actually number 3 that was
It
fake.
was? Oh,
Ah,
that's tricky, man.
you're
Why?
too good at this.
He's too good.
Weeks in a row. That's incredible.
I didn't think I could do it. I
Wow.
thought I've got to cave at some point.
I would love
Yeah.
if
Did
you
you draw
put together
off-
a CV and like send it in to like Watchtower, like as a resume to join their writing department.
I'm
Did you get
they're watching-
inspiration
I'm sure
from
they're
something
watching
else?
already, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
an audition.
Oh,
Basically,
damn.
I mean, look, you just write something that's batshit crazy, and usually it passes for
Yeah,
for
because Lions need
Watchtower's written.
vegetation. Therefore, they're already showing that they
Yeah.
can be domesticated. That's fantastic. Brilliant, Lloyd. Brilliant.
Okay, so we
Wow.
move on to the next
I was
round.
home.
Songs of Doom.
My
Now-
favorite part.
In previous quizzes, we've been concerned about Arthur's chances, given the fact that he doesn't sing the songs or hasn't sung the songs
Ever in English.
In English, but he still somehow seems to remember them.
And
So
without the actual tune, too.
it'll be interesting to see how he copes in today's round. He's up first.
Oh my
Arthur,
God.
you need to complete the lyric.
And
It would be very, very reassuring if you could keep your gaze intently fixed on the webcam
I don't have a webcam. I'm still on my phone.
on your phone, which sort of has a webcam. Anyway,
Why are your eyes darting back and forth
Please look
as if
at
to
that.
another screen?
Because
Wow.
I'm trying to find a perfect spot for the
I think
phone
you should
on
turn
my-
and face the wall and then turn your camera. And There's no
We-
reason
we-
to look
we
at the
trust you.
computer. I'm just teasing you, Arthur.
Arthur
Yeah, I
of
know.
Arthur's Nights, you
Trust
need to
it.
complete the lyric. This is Jehovah's Day. His rule is here to stay. If you need me to sing it, I will do.
This is. Sing it, please.
This is Jehovah's Day. His rule is here to stay.
Stay.
What are you reading?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Remember.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to Google search. It's so fierce.
Now, okay, he's laid in Zion, his chief cornerstone.
Amazing.
Ah!
Amazing. He got there eventually.
Timmy's
Come on.
You're the moderator, Renato. I can't do
I don't know.
anything. You.
Okay. That was literally. Okay. I'm watching the comments. He literally completed the lyrics 3 seconds after 2 comments came in with the right answer.
I don't have anything open. I didn't even have time to open my computer.
I don't even know what to say.
Do you swear on Jehovah, Arthur, that you're telling the truth?
Yes.
The PS2.
I swear on the newer translation.
You're supposed
Okay.
to hold the Bible upside
Okay,
down. Yeah.
as a moderator, I'm gonna show him some mercy in this one, so I will not
Right.
dock points for this one.
Okay. But
So-
if there is reasonable suspicion of cheating in future answers,
But now,
Timmy's-
I suppose Arthur, the thing to do is answer it, or if you can't answer it, pass it on to the next team. But
Okay.
it was just a little bit suspicious how you answered it. But never mind. We'll move on
It
to
always looks like you're reading from a screen.
Team
Because your eyes
O'Donnell.
move.
We'll move on to
trust
Team
you,
O'Donnell,
Arthur.
and we are in the same song.
Uh-oh.
What will you bring, Jehovah's kingdom, triumph of truth and righteousness?
What will you bring, Jehovah's kingdom, triumph of truth and righteousness? And bring what else, Jehovah's kingdom?
Correct.
Oh, I didn't know the next line after that, so yay!
Eternal life and happiness.
Actually, yeah,
High five,
actually,
Sasha.
yeah. Thank you for
Praise the
Giving us a bit more.
universal sovereign for his love and faithfulness.
So we can even Arthur's chiming in on this one. So
Good job.
kind of a preemptive sing along with Arthur. So both teams victorious on the first round of questions. We move on to the next round of questions for this round. Arthur, complete the lyric as non-suspiciously as possible. The way of the truth is the best way of living. No better way can there be found.
The way of the truth is the best way of living.
No better way can there be found.
No better way can there be found. Christ Jesus has taught us the value of giving. That happiness spreads all around.
Correct.
Yeah. Damn, that was two. That was, yeah.
We move on to Team O'Donnell, who seem to be in some form of hysterics. And
always a good time.
Team O'Donnell complete the lyric. And it's from the same song. Make the truth your own. To bad ways, do not be prone.
Make the truth your own. To bad ways, do not be prone.
It's a hard one, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. It's a rude lyric.
Yeah.
It's a
Make
bit
the truth
rude.
your own. So, can you sing the first part for this again, please?
Make the truth your own. To bad ways, do not be prone.
If your body members you control, you make known that the truth
is your own.
Correct. If your body members you control, you make known that the truth is your own. Nothing creepy about that lyric.
Nothing creepy about that one at all.
We move back
Control
to
your body members. You heard it here.
First.
we move back to
Lloyd.
Arthur's Knights.
So Lloyd, there's some suspicion in the comments that Arthur is saying the words to Alexa. That's why he asks you to sing again, because it goes to Alexa and he's got headphones. So that's the
That would be
comments are
quite.
amazing.
I'd have
The
to give him
comments are
points.
amazing today.
Yeah, I
we
can
get
see.
extra points for coming up with that.
So anyway, Arthur, jokes aside, complete the lyric, please. Under Christ, the greater Gideon, we're around the camp of Midian.
We're around the camp of Midian.
Yes.
The camp of
Eyes on the-
Midian, and that was eyes on the webcam. The webcam is over
close your
here,
eyes.
I guess, right?
Yeah, your eyes do seem to be darting around
Soon-
quite a bit.
Soon the battle cry will be given.
Your eyes are still open.
I said,
He gave his answer.
soon the battle cry will be given, putting enemies to fight.
Could you actually sing it? Like, I would like to know how you know.
That's the lyric. I'm just waiting to see whether our moderator has anything to say.
I'm sorry,
Can you
that's 2
actually sing it,
points.
Arthur?
That's
Yeah.
2 points. That's 2
The
points.
problem we have there, Arthur, is that you just weren't keeping your eyes on the webcam at all, despite being told
Because
to.
I don't know where
Arthur,
the webcam is on my phone, and I don't actually know how to look.
Nonetheless,
into the webcam.
Renato has.
We trust you.
Arthur, we could literally hear a keyboard in the background.
So
We're going
on,
to get
man.
comments saying we're picking on Arthur. So
Renato,
We can't.
I'm going to give you full powers there to moderate as you see fit, and take that into account when you're doing your final.
Unlimited power.
It's a professional.
We move on to the next round, out of context, in which I ask both teams to identify which panelist has said what in our previous show. And I've used this round to kind of troll Team O'Donnell, because they never watch the previous show in preparation, which is a source of much insubordination from Mark, usually in each quiz. So, Team Arthur's Knights, who said this? And we can say that because they're not going to watch this episode in preparation.
That was you, Lloyd.
Correct. We move to Team O'Donnell. Team O'Donnell, who said the following. If you watched it, you would know.
Well, since I didn't watch it, I'll defer to you, Sasha.
I was there. I was part of it. And if you watched it, you'd know. Well, I don't think I said it, so there's a help. So it was either Kim or Renato or Lloyd. I reckon it was Lloyd. Again, Kimmy, I'm going to say it was Lloyd.
Okay.
Is that your final answer?
Quit with those.
No, Renato.
I was going to say, sounded like something Renato would say, but like in follow up. But
I changed my answer at the last minute. Yes.
Wow, have we ever had that happen before on the show?
I'm going to take as your final answer Renato, and your final answer is incorrect. It was actually Kim Silvio.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We move back to Arthur's
Sorry,
Knights.
That's okay.
Bear in mind, these quotes are literally taken from within a few seconds of each other. Because we're talking about this very issue of Mark and Kimmy not watching the show.
They were trolling Kimmy. Oh,
who said
who
said the following?
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Renato's mom.
Who said the following? Arthur's Knights. They won the first one, and then they haven't basically won since.
Really?
That was Renato.
Correct.
You're gonna force
We
me to
move back.
watch this episode so I can see what you said about me.
We move back. Thank you very much, Lisa, for the super chat. We move back to Team O'Donnell for the final question of this round. Team O'Donnell, who said this: "We love you, Mark. We love you, Kimmy."
Is that something you said, Sasha?
Yeah, I think I said
Yeah,
that.
it sounds like a Sasha thing. He's a
Yeah.
nice guy.
I said that. Lock it in. I said it.
Because it was at
Correct.
the end of that, you probably felt bad for talking about us, and then
Yeah.
Sasha said, "I love you, Kimmy. I love you, Mark." I
Basically, because we'd been bad mouthing you, Sasha needed
Sasha's
to
a
even
good
things
person.
out.
He really is. He's an honorable man.
Okay.
It's got to
So-
be all of us.
At the end of Out of Context, Renato, are you able, and bearing in mind your moderation deductions, what are you able to tell us about the current state of the scores?
so after 3 rounds, Arthur's Knights have 8 points, including a 2-point deduction for obvious reasons, and Team O'Donnell have 6 points.
Ooh.
So 8-6 going into the fanny pack effects.
That's
Thank
funny
you very
that you
much.
say that like that. Can you say it in Espanol?
What
Does
is
he have what's the translation for fanny pack?
what's Brazilian Portuguese
Yeah,
for the fanny
Portuguese,
pack
yeah.
of facts?
Or in Portuguese, actually.
Yeah, how do you say fanny pack in Portuguese?
Oh, I forgot how you say fanny pack
It's a weird,
in Portuguese.
yeah.
Hang on. Give me a few seconds to Google it.
Well, I think it's for you.
Be dangerous.
We're accustomed to hearing
actually
the
do
sounds of keys going on a keyboard, Renato.
It's called pochete. So it's a pochete. Pochete de fatos.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's what
Anyway.
I was going to say.
The fanny pack of facts cares not for your comments about how it may be translated into different languages. In this round, we unzip the fanny pack of facts. And,
Poște faptelor in Romanian.
sorry, should I start again, Arthur's Knights? With your permission.
He loses points for insubordination.
Jesus.
That was just
Muting-
a demonstration
muting
of what he
you,
looks
Mark.
like when
Oh.
he's Googling stuff.
Okay, I'll try and launch into the round again, because there is a build-up, unlike the other rounds. In this round, we unzip the fanny pack of facts and, with the full consent of its metaphorical owner, delve into its contents in search of statements about Watchtower's past. But just as a real fanny pack is widely considered at best dubious and at worst an abomination as a fashion statement, the facts revealed by the fanny pack of facts aren't always to be trusted. You must decide which are true and which are false. You see, I just needed to get the intro done. I write this stuff. I want to be able to say it. So, Arthur's Knights, you're up first. True or false? Charles Taze Russell acknowledged that he once identified as an Adventist. Is it true or is it false?
What are you reading, Arthur?
That's -1 point for interfering with the opponent, Kimmy. Sorry.
Oh, fairness. There's fairness there.
I want to say so much, but I don't want to lose another point. How long does it take, Arthur, for true or false?
He's waiting for the
Got him
comments to
muted.
come
I'm on
through.
mute, sorry. Nothing, I was
It's true
I
or
was
it's
trying
false.
to- I was
How long
trying-
does it?
He's waiting for them. I can't say it.
No, I was trying to reconnect. I was trying to reconnect on my PC. I was trying to connect on my PC.
Do you have an answer for us, Arthur?
Still waiting.
Or
What the hell? I'm trying to connect on my PC and
We can see
leave
you.
my phone.
Okay, just try again one more time. It's because you've got two. It's because you've got two on at the same time, but it's a bit confusing because you should be answering the question and not connecting other devices.
It's false.
Okay, you have answered false. You are correct. Charles Taze Russell denied having been an Adventist. So thank you for answering the question eventually. So congratulations, Arthur. You've won some points there. And we go to Team
Quick
O'Donnell.
question. It's 5 points for this round, right?
5 points, correct. Yeah,
Okay.
per correctly answered question. Team O'Donnell. Former Watchtower president Milton Henschel is rumoured to have once told a visitor to Bethel that he privately resented not being able to wear a beard. Is it true or is it false?
This is where not having Mark here really hurts my chances.
Yeah. Henschel. I didn't think he was a. Oh. Kimmy, I really don't know. Sorry,
I
I'll
don't know
defer to
either.
you.
So we're just gonna go. It sounds so off the wall. We'll go with true.
Sounds good to me.
We got a 50-50 shot.
Is that your
Yeah.
final answer?
Actually, Lloyd, could you read it again? Just kidding. We're gonna go with true.
Thanks, Mark.
Your answer is incorrect. It's false. The fanny pack of facts has
Yeah.
thrown a wobbler your way.
Yeah,
It's thrown a banana skin of sorts. We move back to
I should have
Arthur's
known Lloyd was
Knights.
pro beard, and that influenced the writing there.
Arthur's Knights.
Yes.
A woolly mammoth and a stegosaurus are pictured as once coexisting in the 1953 book New Heavens and a New Earth, despite the stegosaurus going extinct roughly 150 million years before mammoths roamed the earth. Is
True.
it true or is it false?
It's true.
Correct. We move
Damn.
to Team
Yeah, that one was
O'Donnell.
one of those crazy ones we've all heard.
I like
So
it when
crazy.
Arthur is able to answer questions quickly.
Yeah,
It's, I
if
don't
you
know.
see what happens if you answer right away, no one gets
Maybe there
suspicious.
should be a time limit on the true or false question.
We go to Team O'Donnell
We
for the
love you,
final
Arthur.
question of this round. Early Bible students were baptized on the basis of 2 baptismal questions as recommended by Charles Taze Russell. Is it true or is it false?
No, that's false, right?
Yeah,
They didn't bring
I
in those
agree.
questions till later, so false.
Yep, false.
The fanny
no.
pack of facts has not been kind to you, Timo
It's
O'Donnell.
wrong. Russell also
It's
made
true.
them say those stupid
He
questions.
did.
Really?
This is actually this came up in my research, in my 2 hours of research, as I do for every quiz.
Right.
And this is actually confirmed in the book What Pastor Russell Said.
Yeah. Again, Mark would know because
Wow.
I don't know whether he would. I didn't know
No?
it until I read it.
we should. I'll have to ask him. I'm not sure if he's watching.
I'll read it
or not.
for you.
Yeah, I'd love to
page-
hear
Yeah, I
what
would never
those
have thought
questions
that
are.
because he also used to say you didn't have to attend church, right? You could
Mm.
or go to your own
So
church.
on
or
page
whatever.
35, in 1913, Russell is asked a question. What are the questions usually put by Brother Russell when receiving candidates for water immersion? Answer, this is from Russell, you will notice that they are on broad lines, questions which any Christian, whatever his confession, should be able to answer in the affirmative without hesitation if he is suitable to be acknowledged as a member of the Church of Christ. 1. Have you repented of sin with such restitution as you are able, and are you trusting in the merit of Christ's sacrifice for the forgiveness of your sins and the basis of your justification? And 2, have you made a full consecration of yourself with all the powers that you possess, talent, money, time, influence, all to the Lord, to be used faithfully in his service, even unto death? And those are the two
that is
questions.
very interesting because that is very similar to the original question.
Similar, you can
and
see
then they
the-
later became more organizationally driven. But
You
prior,
can see
it
the
was more
evolution there,
about-
can't you?
Yeah, almost like
Yeah.
the born again Christians. Do you take God into your heart, and are you sorry for your sins? And yeah, that's very
You
interesting.
repent of your sins and accept Jesus as your personal savior.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the fanny pack of facts, which has proved to be a major banana skin for Team O'Donnell, Renato, what can you tell us about the scores?
So after 4 rounds, Arthur's Knights have 18 points, and Team O'Donnell, because of a point deduction, have
It was worth
5
it.
points.
It was worth it.
So 18 to 5.
I'm sorry, Kimmy.
Oh,
So,
our self-esteem is not.
so basically, Arthur's Knights are one correct question in Apocalypse Delayed away from winning the game. Is that correct?
Correct. Team O'Donnell need both questions to win, and Arthur's Knights cannot answer
Any
either question
question.
correctly.
So can we make Arthur
Right.
close his eyes for this question?
Okay.
I'm going to put the camera on you, Arthur,
Oh,
so that you
yeah.
can prove to us how trustworthy you are as you answer the first of the 2 questions in Apocalypse Delayed, both worth 10 points.
correctly.
In what year was the following printed? Will God ever destroy the wicked? If so, how much longer must we wait? Such questions are asked by people throughout the earth. Where can we find the answers? We can do so in divinely inspired prophetic words about God's appointed time. They assure us that Jehovah will soon execute judgment upon all wicked ones. Was that printed in 1980, 1990, or 2000?
2000, yeah. Let's say 2000.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer 2000, yeah. Let's, because we still have only 2 minutes before the 90-minute mark. O'Donnell. So yeah, definitely. Final
Wow.
answer 2000.
Wow, someone's late to the show and he's got a time limit. Woo!
Arthur's Knights have won. That is correct. It was 2000.
Wow.
Specifically,
Oh.
the Watchtower of February 1st, page 8. So, commiserations to Team O'Donnell.
That's okay.
Sorry,
But let's finish the round anyway to find out how many points you would have won. Tell me when this was printed. We live in the most blessed time of all human history. Soon now, Jehovah and his Son, Christ Jesus, will rid the universe of all enemies of God's kingdom. What a joy it will be after that war to live under righteous conditions in the paradise earth, free of suffering, sorrow, and death. Was that printed in 1968, 1978, or 1988?
Kimmy?
88. They all. That's
Yeah.
crazy language because it could be any year, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah. I'll go
I just
with
love
you.
how almost reminds me of that era where the whole "Live Forever" in Paradise Earth and all that good talk in the '80s. But we'll just go 88. We're probably wrong, but we're gonna go 88.
You've answered 1988. It was actually
1968.
The Truth Book?
How did you know it was the Truth
1968.
Book?
Because
You're too good.
I was seeing Lloyd's hand going towards the Truth
Ah,
Book.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
You saw
I was thinking. I
you
just think some of
plotted
that
the
language is
trajectory
in
of my
Live
hand
Forever.
over a live stream.
Of course.
Oh, good grief. Okay.
There is nothing he can't do. There you go.
His powers are not to
Amazing.
be underestimated.
Amazing.
And we
Amazing.
respect you, Arthur. You did very well today. I bow before
It's
your
not finished yet,
magnificence.
Sasha.
We have
2 more
another
questions.
Mm.
Arthur of Arthur's Knights.
Yeah.
Tell me when.
Yes, Renato.
Tell me when this was printed.
I was gonna
Armageddon
say-
is near. Sorry, go on, Renato.
No, I was going to say that if Arthur gets this question correct, it's a new record for points on the last day's quiz.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So all to play for still
Yeah.
for Arthur's Knights. Tell me when this was printed. Armageddon is near, and the conclusion of God's strange work is nearer. We must make haste in doing that work. No consecrated one will fear the scoffers or persecutors. Was that printed in 1928, 1938, or 1948?
I guess it's 1928 because that's when we are talking about consecrated ones.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, my final answer, 1928.
Incorrect. It was 1938, and it was from Face the Facts, which we featured in last week's last day's quiz. So, on to Team O'Donnell for the final question of the quiz.
We got to end on a bang here, Tasha.
Okay, we can do this.
Tell me when the following was printed. As in the case of the Gibeonites, there is no time to delay. The threatening situation calls for God-fearing action now, not before a third world war could break out, but before the great day of God the Almighty. Was that printed in 1951, 1961, or 1971?
Based on world events, I wouldn't say 51 because they've just come off the back of second.
Right.
Oh, mind you, because they've come off the back of the Second World War, they might be thinking into. No, I would be thinking 61. But as I say, it's your team, and I don't want to influence too much.
I was going to say 71, but my gut's wrong. So let's try the opposite. We're going to go 61. See if
Okay.
Team O'Donnell, you have chosen 1961.
final answer.
I'm here to tell you, you are correct.
We
It
got
was
one!
1961. You've won yourself 10 points at the death. It was from the booklet Rescuing a Great Crowd of Mankind Out of Armageddon, which also featured on past live streams. So congratulations.
Wow, really?
Wow, we'll take that.
So Renato, perhaps you can give us a rundown of the scores.
So after last day's quiz number 11, Arthur's Knights have won 6 in a row, thanks to a 28-15 victory today.
Damn.
So there we go.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Arthur.
Congratulations, Arthur.
Congratulations, Arthur.
Despite
All the jokes aside.
arriving at the last minute, you still were able to pull a victory out of somewhere. So,
Because actually, it's not my. I don't have any merits in this.
no.
Everything is thanks to the Almighty God Jehovah,
I thought you were gonna say Google. I'm sorry.
and all
Alexa.
glory goes to our Heavenly Father Jehovah.
And what better way to glorify Jehovah than in song?
Dear brothers and sisters, it's time for another installment of Sing Along with Arthur, and we're glad to have joined in such great numbers. To bring ourselves into the vibe of the song the faithful and discreet panelist has prepared for today, or must have prepared for today, let's open our Bibles at Paul's letter to the Christians in Rome and extract some important reminders from chapter 8. In the passage between verses 14 and 17, I won't read it aloud as not to trigger Sister Redwood's sensibility to intros of public talk length. Paul talks about how God's Holy Spirit collaborates with the individual's spirit to confirm that they are an anointed child of God and joint heirs with Christ for the heavenly kingdom. Indeed, we learned about the heavenly calling, the earthly calling, and if we've become demos during the 2016 convention season, we learned that there is the heavenly calling. Regardless of what our hopes might be, we should meditate on Jehovah's provision.
I have hopes for singing.
I have hopes for this intro and
whenever we feel the callings, a certain musician might come to mind who started out in Genesis and proved to be a revelation right into his solo career.
Wow.
This song was a Grammy awarded hit and fits well into our theme. But if you want to know which song this is, tune in next Saturday for the final sing-along with Arthur of this first season.
I told you he didn't have it with. He said no in the private chat.
He's fobbed us off after that long intro. He's not even going to sing.
He doesn't have the lyrics.
Let's play
And
a
on
game
that
here,
bombshell.
though. Based on that intro, anyone in the comments want to give a suggestion of what song they think it is? He gave us a clue.
He did give us a clue.
Started at Genesis right through to Revelation of their career. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Barnabas is that right, Arthur?
I'm not going to lie, Eric. I can kind of see where you're coming from there.
We kind of gave him some airtime.
Yeah. So anyway, on that bombshell, that brings today's last day's live stream to a close. Congratulations again to Arthur's Knights for winning the quiz. Thank you so much, Kimmy, for being such an excellent sport. Please pass on our love and hugs to Mark. Hope he's feeling better soon. And yeah, 2 more shows to go before we end for the season. So we will see you all again on Wednesday. Until then, stay safe, stay positive, and we will see you in the next show. Take care.
Take care. Thank you for watching.